Last time, we talked about the initial invasion of Poland. Today, we're jumping into 1940 and 1941, a period known as the Axis Advance. These were some of the darkest days for the Allied powers. A time when it seemed like the German war machine was simply unstoppable. The world held its breath as Hitler, having secured his eastern flank with the Soviet Union, turned his gaze westward. After a period of relative quiet known as the Phony War, the calm was shattered in the spring of 1940. Germany launched a series of lightning-fast invasions, a military strategy that would become infamous as the Blitz. The first targets were in the north. On April 9th, German forces simultaneously invaded Denmark and Norway. Denmark, being small and flat, was overwhelmed in a matter of hours. Norway, with its rugged terrain and Allied support, put up a much fiercer fight. The British and French sent troops to help, but the German assault was too well coordinated and powerful. By June, Norway had also fallen. This move secured Germany's northern flank and gave its navy crucial access to the Atlantic Ocean. With Scandinavia under control, Hitler unleashed the main event, the invasion of Western Europe. In May 1940, the German army launched a massive offensive. The plan was audacious. Instead of a head-on assault through the heavily fortified Maginot Line on the French border, the main German armored thrust went through the Ardennes forest. This was a hilly, wooded area that the French and British military command had dismissed as impassable for tanks. It was a fatal miscalculation. The German panzers burst out of the Ardennes, completely bypassing the bulk of the Allied forces and racing towards the English Channel. The countries in their path were caught completely by surprise. The Netherlands, despite flooding large parts of their country in a desperate defense, was forced to surrender after the devastating bombing of Rotterdam. Belgium and Luxembourg were swiftly overrun as German panzer divisions sliced through their defenses with terrifying speed and efficiency. The Belgian army fought bravely but was ultimately pushed back and forced to capitulate. This brilliant and unexpected maneuver trapped the British Expeditionary Force and a large portion of the French army on the beaches of Dunkirk, with their backs to the sea. The situation was catastrophic. It looked like the entire British army might be annihilated or captured. What happened next was a miracle of improvisation and civilian courage, but we'll save the story of the Dunkirk evacuation for our next episode. The main German force then turned south, deep into France. The French military, once considered the most powerful in Europe, was in disarray. Their command structure had collapsed, their best units were trapped in the north, and morale was plummeting. The Germans marched relentlessly forward. Paris, declared an open city to avoid its destruction, fell on June 14th without a fight. The French government fled, and just a few weeks after the invasion began, on June 22, 1940, France signed an armistice with Germany. It was a stunning and humiliating defeat. In just 6 weeks, Hitler had conquered most of Western Europe, a feat that Germany had failed to achieve in 4 years of brutal fighting during World War I. The speed and totality of the German victory in 1940 sent shockwaves across the globe. The future looked incredibly bleak. How could Britain possibly survive? And what would America, still officially neutral, do in the face of this overwhelming Axis dominance? These are the questions we explore as we continue our journey through the pivotal moments of World War II.